You ever have one of those moments, you sit down thinking, okay, just one lesson plan, 10 minutes tops. But then that simple task just completely spirals out of control. Well, that's exactly what happened to me last night, and honestly, it led to a pretty big realization about how we work. Let's get into it. This right here just hits so hard, doesn't it? It's that awful sinking feeling you get when the tools that are supposed to help you do your job become the job. You're not thinking, you're not creating, you're just clicking. You're just managing a mess of digital clutter. So let me paint you the picture. The mission was simple: plan one lesson. But what was supposed to be a quick 10-minute task turned into this full-blown battle against my own computer screen. I mean, does this look at all familiar to you? You've got one tab open with the PDF, another one with the textbook, okay, then another with last year's notes, and of course, Google Docs to actually write the thing, YouTube to find that perfect video clip, a worksheet template you're trying to fill in. Oh, and somehow WhatsApp messages are popping up right in the middle of it all. It is absolute chaos.
And what happens when you're trying to juggle all of that? Well, the time just evaporates. That quick 10-minute task suddenly stretches to 30 minutes. Then you glance at the clock and a whole hour has gone by. And that feeling of making progress? Nope, it's replaced by this rising anxiety because you have almost nothing to show for it. And here's the kicker. After 60 full minutes of frantic tab switching and copy pasting, the grand total of work I actually completed was half of a single lesson plan. It is just so frustrating. It's such a deeply inefficient way to get things done.
But sometimes it's that exact frustration that leads to a breakthrough. This whole mess forced me to stop and think, what is the actual hard part here? Where's the real difficulty?
And this was it. This was the big realization. The teaching part, that's not the hard part. The real challenge, the real bottleneck was the process itself. It was my workflow.
So what do I even mean by workflow here? I mean this grueling process of starting from zero every single time. It's having to hunt down, piece together, and create from all these different components scattered in a dozen different places for every single lesson.
I mean, just think about how much rebuilding is happening. For every single lesson, we're building the learning outcomes, we're brainstorming activities, finding good examples, writing thoughtful questions, creating practice tasks, then an exit ticket, then a quiz. It is a massive creative undertaking, and we're doing it from scratch over and over again.
So, staring at this completely broken system, I knew I had to do something else. I just had to abandon it and try something radically different. And this was the turning point. And just look at the difference. Instead of a dozen chaotic tabs, the new process is all about simplicity. Step 1, open one single clean workspace. Step 2, upload only your most important trusted sources. And Step 3, type one clear instruction. That's it.
And this is that one sentence. But notice how specific it is. It's not just make a lesson plan. It's create a complete 40-minute lesson plan with learning outcomes, a hook activity, a step-by-step explanation, 5 discussion questions, a worksheet practice task, an exit ticket, and a 10-question quiz. Every piece is right there in the request. So what happens when you trade in that chaotic manual process for this streamlined approach? Well, the results were pretty much immediate and frankly kind of shocking. Now, this is so important. The AI didn't just go out and scrape the internet for random stuff. It worked exclusively from my sources, my PDF, my textbook pages, my own notes. That means everything it produced was relevant, it was accurate, and it was perfectly aligned with what I needed to teach. And the result wasn't just some jumble of ideas. In literally seconds, this structured, clean, coherent lesson plan just appeared. The examples were pulled right from the chapter, the questions matched the topic, all the parts I asked for were there. So was it perfect? 100% finished, ready-to-go product? No, of course not. But that's not the point. The point is that it was 80% of the way there. It gave me this solid, high-quality foundation that completely changed the nature of my work. And this really gets to the heart of the whole shift. Before, my work was all about painstakingly building from zero, like trying to build a house brick by brick. Now, my work is about refining, about editing, about adding that final 20% of human expertise and creativity. I'm working like a professional editor, not a construction worker. So as we start to wrap this up, let's just zero in on the main takeaway here. Because this isn't really a story about a cool new tool.
It's about a completely new way of thinking about our work.
Just take a second and ask yourself honestly, does your own workflow look like that before picture? The 15 open tabs, the endless copy-pasting, the late nights that are just fueled by the panic of a deadline getting closer and closer?
And this is the bottom line. We can't just magically invent more hours in the day. The solution to feeling overwhelmed and overworked isn't just to work longer. It's to fundamentally change the system you're using to get the work done in the first place.
So I'll leave you with this one last question to think about. Imagine you could get an 80% draft of your most important tasks done in just a few minutes. What would you do with all that reclaimed time and mental energy? How could you customize a lesson for that one student who's struggling? What kind of amazing creative activities could you dream up? Just how much better could your work be if your main job was to refine and perfect instead of just building from zero every single time?